So we back in the gallery again with Daniel Blaize, Mr. Bobby's house.
Oh.
Morning. How is you?
I'm good. I am finishing up a commission. Well, obviously this isn't it, but I'm finishing up a commission outside of this and getting back into a more kind of busy schedule than I usually am.
More busy than you usually am?
Yeah, so I've been doing freelancing for a while now, but I'm going to be going back into Upwork because Upwork has been really good to me for like more consistent work.
Okay, so freelancing as what?
Comic art, illustration. I haven't done any animation freelancing, but comic art, illustration, graphic design, that kind of thing.
Okay, and the freelance would be, your clients would be more local clients, international, both?
Local and international, and it kind of both. A lot of my work at the moment works off of word of mouth, which is good, but not as consistent as I would like it to be.
Okay, all right. Well, usually with all the guests, the macro business does start a little into the past. So in terms of school education of the secondary variety, because I guess we could not bury the lead and say you were a different person some years ago.
Yes, in several ways.
Right. So what secondary school did you attend?
I went to I passed my first choice St. Joseph Convent, and then I did that Form 1 to 5, and then Form 6 I did at Holy Name.
Oh, you was convent through and through.
Yeah, it took a while to get rid of the accent. The accent is real. I ain't gonna lie to you.
So okay. So I get someone that I can ask. So the accent was part of the curriculum, unofficial curriculum. Like you needed to, in order to fit in, you needed to have the accent.
Not necessarily. I think it was just like in the environment of the school. I mean, it could have changed now because that was like 2006. But I think that changed a lot as we were all like getting into higher grades. Like from Form 4 on, everybody was wearing their hair natural and really like getting their own personalities. I mean, I did not have much of a personality until a couple of years ago, if I'm being honest with you. But that definitely is part of it, like when you just enter, I think. Right. I'm not entirely sure what causes it.
Interesting. And how was your experience in convent?
It was good there. I made a lot of good friends that I still have today, and I have a lot of good experiences from it. I ended up transferring for like completely non-school related reasons. Okay. But Holy Name was excellent for my art. We had like the best art teacher there at the time. I don't know if she still works there. And I ended up making the merit list twice for Form 6. Like she was really good with what she taught. Nice.
What was the reason for doing sixth form at Holy Name?
Well, I partially wanted to, like, I'd heard a lot about their art program there, how they had the best art students, the best art teachers and stuff like that. And part of it was like legitimately like interpersonal drama I had with other people in class. It had gotten so bad that I was like, nope, I am not doing Form 6 in the school. I can't.
Right. Okay. And then after Form 6?
After Form 6, I initially tried to sign up for Sheridan College. I don't know if that application ever went through because it took so long to send it in. But that didn't work out, so I ended up doing the animation program. It was a diploma at the time, 2013.
UTT.
The diploma in animation studies at UTT.
Right, because that is probably when you would have first come across my radar.
Yeah, so I'd done 2 years at UTT, and then during that time, I had gotten a scholarship through something called the Emerging Leaders in the Americas program. So I was able to do, ironically, ended up going to Sheridan College for a semester to do courses for like what I would have been doing in second year at UTT anyway. And that.
So was this something that you had applied for?
It was basically given to whoever did the best in first year. Not to flex too much.
Wow. Okay. Showing off, right? That's what we're saying. Nice. Okay.
Yeah, and that was instrumental.
So this would have been, you went, so this was overseas?
Yeah, so this was in Ontario. I forget where specifically, so like Ontario is the state. Oakville, I want to say Oakville. Yeah, Sheridan College. They have a 4-year program, so I ended up doing like a storyboarding class in first year, and then I was in like the final film class in the 4th year and different things like that, because I would have had to be working on my student film, or at least thinking about my student film and starting development on it from the 2nd year.
Yeah, that is very cool. So this is second person, because there will be an episode of the gallery coming out with Macasey, and he also shared his experience with through the UTT program going to Africa.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's cool.
Yeah. So for you as well to have experience with going outside of the country, that's real cool. And I think that it could do two things. So you would have to tell me, right? But when you are removed from the place that you're accustomed to, and sometimes take for granted, and you realize, hey, the world is bigger than this little Twin Island Republic we have here. It's either it inspires you, it intimidates you, or both. So what did that experience do for you in terms of your art, your creativity, or your outlook, that kind of thing?
It definitely inspired and intimidated. I don't know if this is like a Trini thing or just your hometown kind of thing, but like Trini don't really like give you that kind of critique on things. Now they'll tell you, oh, that looks so nice, and I mean they genuinely think it looks nice, but they don't really like, we don't have that kind of critique. I don't know what it was, at least at the time. So that is also why I say, not to flex or anything quite literally, because I may have been the best performer of that first year, but when I went up there, I was like, the level of art that was up there and the things they already understood, I was embarrassed to be there. Like when we were developing our student films, there were so many things that like I did not understand that I was expected to have understood at that point. And I remember when we were first presenting our Leica reels, like our final Leica reel. So like before the animatic is the Leica reel, which is you take the storyboards and you kind of time them together, and maybe you put copyrighted music on it just to get like a feel for the timing of the story and thing. So then bring somebody from Rockstar Games to review our Leica reels. And I tell you that man take my film and I don't mean literally, but he take my film and mash it on the ground and mash it to the foot and then like throw a chair on it, and that completely shattered, like, this is gonna sound dramatic, but like shattered my ego as an artist to be like, this is the real world, big dog. Like, this is what the professional does. If you want to be professional, this is what you do.
Right.
And I ended up, after I peeled myself off the ground, I ended up being able to, really take a lot of that to heart and actually work on those things, which is how my student film ended up getting best student film and then getting best Caribbean film at Kingston in 2015 and 2016 respectively. So it's
at what?
The best student film award. The film ended up getting the best student film award in UTT for my year.
Right.
In 2015 when I graduated.
Right.
And then in 2016 I entered the film into Kingston, which Kingston is not a thing anymore, but it was a Jamaican animation festival, and I got first place for Best Caribbean Animation.
Wow.
Yeah, and that would not have happened if I didn't have the experience at Sheridan College.
Right. If you didn't get your soul ripped out of your chest.
Yeah.
So that
it never feel fun, but it is part.
It's necessary. It's necessary. It's need that brutal kind of honesty, but it had to be constructive as well, right? And it depends on you as the person, as the artist, how you take it and what you do with it afterwards. Because I know there are people that, for whatever reason, whether it's pride or because they really believe that rainbows does pour out of their ass, they feel they're the best at everything. So any kind of negative criticism, they will see it as you hating on them, and they are not at fault in any kind of way. So they will continue on their merry way being mediocre at best. And then you have those that will rightly feel hurt, right? Because you're pouring yourself into your work. But, dusting yourself off and saying, well, all right, these are the things that I need to work on. And next time around, I go in and fuck shit up. And clearly that's what you do.
Yeah, it is, I think, one of the most pivotal moments just being an artist and a storyteller in general. And I'm very thankful for it because it has led to a place where like I not just, have a better skill in terms of like management and storytelling and things like that, but I am able to still learn and apply different things in a way that I may not have been pushed to if I didn't think there was anything more than this. Like if I didn't have to be any better than a certain level, or if I felt, I don't know, I'm happy to have the opportunity to learn and to get even better, because a lot of the time people they don't want to hurt your feelings by a critique, and then sometimes people might not even know how to critique and what to do with your work, so you just kind of end up stagnating.
Yeah. And also, I mean, it's something that I preach, and I also try to practice. Anytime you are producing work, especially professionally, right? But at any kind of level, it had to be, or it should be at an international standard, right? You can't just do something and say, well, I don't see anybody like in my immediate circle doing anything this good, so I am the best.
Yeah.
With social media and the way the world is just one small city at this point, you're literally competing with everybody else. Your competition is international, so you had to function at that kind of level.
You can't what they call it, a big fish in a small pond kind of thing.
Yeah.
Especially now with AI, I mean, like, artists from the Caribbean have always been undervalued in that way, so in a kind of way not much changes there, but
right.
You really have to like focus on your craft, because that's the only thing AI truly cannot do. It can't craft, it can just kind of regurgitate.
Yeah,
I've had a lot of work come in from people like they're using AI and they're not finding satisfaction with anything I'm adding to it, and it's like, well, you give me AI to work with, like it matters that a human didn't make this.
Yeah. There's only so much that can be done to something that, arguably doesn't have a soul to begin with. All right. So after beating everybody twice, just advantaging the scene, what happened after that? Well, you said 2015?
Yeah.
So what happened after 2015?
So I would say from in 2015 at Anime Carib, I met a couple of people from Barbados who were working as a game company at the time. And I ended up doing a lot of work with them and learning a lot about game development. A lot of them are still like close friends with me today. And that was also like really great to have not just experience working in game dev, but like animation experience, especially because my role at the time was to take and animate the artwork in a certain art style.
Right.
Yeah, we had ended up making we ended up making a alpha for it. So like it I don't think it exists online, but it did exist at some point, and I'm pretty sure I still have a copy of it somewhere.
This would have been the game that I was working on.
Yeah.
What type of game?
We had taken it to, it was a what was it? It was a stealth game, a kind of action stealth kind of folklorish game.
Oh.
Yeah, it was based on the Loop Guru.
Or Lagahoo for the...
Well, for us, Lagahoo, yeah.
Yeah, for the uninitiated.
Yeah, we had like, a lot of really cool stuff came out of that, and I'm happy to have worked on that.
That sounds very cool. And that would have been, how long would that project have been going on for?
I think that went on from 2015 to the end of 2018.
Okay.
Yeah, we weren't able to continue developing it after a while, but it was pretty good while we were developing it. Like, we had managed to get like 1 or 2 grants and different things like that. That's how I ended up getting that laptop. The laptop that's been going for 10 years was through like grant money and stuff from working on the game.
Right. Okay. And this would have been mostly Bayesian developers, and you were the only trainee?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's remote work, or were you in Barbados?
I did visit Barbados sometimes, but it was remote work primarily, yeah.
Okay, and you were responsible for developing the assets for the game?
The animation specifically. So they had an artist working on the art for the game already, and like what the main characters would look like, and then I would develop the animated sprites for different things. It was in 2D initially, and then we had shifted to 3D. And in both cases, I think I'm actually not sure. I'm not entirely sure. I may have made the suggestion myself. That's what my mind is telling me. I'm not entirely sure why we ended up switching to 3D. I always, personally speaking, had an issue with keeping up my output for traditional animation. So I have to imagine that may have been part of the reason why, because traditional animation is all fun and cool until you have to sit down and do it. Yeah. And my student film took like 8 months to do.
But I mean, how long was it?
2.5 minutes.
8 months for 2.5 minutes.
I mean, granted, I was in school as well. It's not like I wasn't doing anything else, but still.
Yeah. No, I mean, 8 months not sounding like a ridiculously long time, especially if you have other shit going on and you're doing it traditionally. That sounds like it was an intensive process, to me anyway.
Quite.
Because you were not the artist on that project, and you were working with someone who had already come up with the character designs and that kind of thing, what did the process look like working with them? So how was the workflow for you? So what seeing that you had to you were the animator, you would tell them how you wanted you have to animate characters, you have to tell them like what you would need, like the body parts, and if it's front, side, 3/4. How was the process? How did you start actually doing the work?
So the artist would develop a turnaround sheet for me. So that would be the character facing front, side, 3/4, back, just so I have a reference point for when I am animating that the character looks consistent from all angles. From there, I would be able to then develop a rough animation that shows more of the timing and the actual movement than maybe the specific character itself. I wouldn't have to do a bunch of guesswork because I have that turnaround sheet already, and then that would then have to be approved again by the artist to make sure it's staying on model and that kind of thing, and we would have that kind of back and forth.
So is it that you would have to essentially redraw or recreate the character that the other artist came up with in order to animate?
Yeah, we were doing a kind of pixel. I think I was doing it in Boom Harmony at the time, I want to say. Yeah. So I was basically doing it traditionally.
Right.
Which, if I were doing it today, I think I'd be able to manage it a lot better. Like, so much of animation involves planning, and the more you say, I don't need to plan it, the more headache. Like, every time you say you don't need to plan something, just add on 10 headaches to whatever's going to happen.
Right.
So that's definitely a big part of it.
And how you say did reach an alpha build?
Yeah, we had an alpha build of it that we took to AnimeCon, I want to say in 2016, but I'm not entirely sure. It would have been 2016 or 2017. Yeah, it was received pretty well there, and that just fun experience overall.
And then money run out?
I think everybody just ended up kind of being pulled in different directions in terms of like...
How big was the team?
It was just 4 of us.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, and we were doing really good for everything, but I think in the end, like, everybody got pulled in different directions and doing things, and we wanted to work on the game, but logistically, that kind of thing doesn't always work out.
Right, yeah. Right, so that's up until 2018, you said?
2018, yeah, because I don't think I was looking at it in 2019.
Right, so after that...
I was primarily freelancing. I was doing a lot of motion graphics. I would get quite a bit of work around like carnival time for like people would have flyers that they would want to then turn into motion graphics from using the element. Yeah. So it was primarily that. I don't think there was any significant thing at that time. No, all of it was really freelancing. In the next like major thing and where I work now, I'm currently the animation director for Far Creative. So I would have started working for them in 2021, and then that is my day job basically. Right,
so that's Renee and them.
Yeah.
So how did you start working with Renee and crew?
Renee had messaged me. I don't remember like what specifically about, but they were developing a project initially, and I think they were all like looking at a different pipeline generally. And I think Renee had asked me like, do you do animation? And at that time, I had just, fairly recently finished an animation for it was like for a trailer for a local kind of video game on the App Store. It's no longer there, but I had used Moho animation to animate a character, and it was so much easier to use than After Effects. Like, I was fighting for my life trying to animate in After Effects. This is not a popular opinion, but After Effects is not for character animation. It isn't. Same way Photoshop is not for drawing. So
you'll get a level pushback there, though.
I know that.
You'll get a level pushback there.
I a Clip Studio Paint man, and when you use a program for drawing, you realize that Photoshop is not a drawing program. It is a photo manipulation program.
Right.
You can draw in it, yes. The same way I could probably draw in Affinity Designer, but I wouldn't call it a drawing program either, really.
You just out here burning all bridges. All right, Sulia.
Yeah.
You carry on.
Yeah, take me out. Call this straight.
Wow. Your boy Nabil is going to listen to this and might have some opinions.
I mean, just to be fair, it very well could be a skill issue, because I've never been able to draw anything in Photoshop and make it look good. That is just the truth. So it has never been that kind of success for me, and which is why I don't see it as a drawing program. Like, even Paint Tool Sai, which I don't know if I'll use Paint Tool Sai again, because like it crashed, took off my work, and I was like, okay, that's the enemy in Paint Tool Sai.
Yeah.
The setup is different when a program is made for a specific purpose.
Right. Yeah.
That's really what I'm getting at. I'm not saying like Photoshop is a bad program.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah, I as a Clip Studio man as well, after trying to find various apps when I first decided to jump into this digital thing, and I think the only reason that I didn't settle on Photoshop was that because the machine I was using it on wasn't powerful enough to use Photoshop properly, so I had to find something less demanding. And it really came down to two, Clip Studio and Leonardo, and I love Leonardo, but
I never heard of that one.
Yeah, Leonardo drawing app. It's still in beta. I love it so much. I bought the program, even though it was still in beta. It's just that it is still a work in progress now, so it's not as complete as Clip Studio. But yeah, I tried Affinity, tried Photoshop, Sketchbook Pro, a bunch of them, but Leonardo felt the best to use, plus that Infinity Canvas. Hell yeah. But Clip Studio, I settled on that for now. I still experimenting and everything, but Clip Studio is it. So I get that. So did you were using Moho in UTT?
No. We learned more. I don't think Moho used to be Anime Studio, and we weren't using UTT. We were using Toon Boom Harmony.
Right.
Fun fact, actually, Anime Studio used to be part of the same company that Clip Studio was part of, which is why it was called Anime Studio. Right. And then they sold it to another company.
It was Manga Studio for Clip Studio, and then Anime Studio for Anime Studio.
Moho, yeah. And then I think when they sold it, it became Moho Animation.
Okay. Right. So they build the programs specifically for certain types of creatives to use. So they would have those things in mind when they develop any program. So when did you start using Moho?
I started using Moho, I want to say at the tail end of 2020, like after I'd stopped using After Effects. I can't remember where I'd heard of it, but I had a job fall through because I just couldn't get After Effects to work for character animation. I'm like, okay, I'm done fighting up inside of here. Clearly, like, I'm trying to make this app do something it's not really supposed to do. There has to be an easier way for me to do this. And I found Moho to be extremely everything is on the front end. You see the timeline and the tools and everything there, and you create the character on frame 0. You animate the character on frame 1. It just a lot just in front of your face one time, and I found that so much easier to work with. Now, granted, Moho, the difference is you're not really getting the kind of support. Well, it's building now, but you have a lot more tutorials and plugins and different things for After Effects. right? Like there's
Right.
people doing the kind of animation I talking about I couldn't do in After Effects. There are people, lots of people doing really good character animation work. I just don't find it worth the amount of effort that is required for doing that, which is it's so much easier and more. So I guess call it laziness. I will go through extra work to not have to do as much work.
Fair. Fair. So currently Moho is your weapon of choice for animation?
Yeah.
So you've been using it since 2020?
Yeah, end of 2020. It's primarily for cutout animation. Well, puppet animation is a better thing for it because
now when you say
cutout animation.
When you say cutout or puppet, give me an example of what that would be.
So cutout animation, as we understand it, would be like Total Drama Island or Peppa Pig or The Lion Guard. Actually, is cutout animation.
Would South Park fall as cutout animation?
Yes.
Okay.
So it's basically a cutout and puppet animation kind of are synonyms. I'm sure somebody will be able to correct me on that, but I've always understood it as kind of the same thing. Cutout meaning you literally have all of the different parts of the character cut out so you can manipulate them individually and create animation in that way.
Okay.
Yeah, and doing that means
to sell animation where each frame is a different version of that character moving, as opposed to having the character broken up and you're just manipulating each part to mimic motion.
Yeah. So in my case specifically, I would, for example, if I had this character here, I would be able to, like, I would separate the face off and the arms, like the different, any part that I want to move basically, and then I am able to put what would be understood in After Effects as like puppet pins on the thing itself, and then from there I would be able to manipulate it like a puppet.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, and it used to be like a much more restrictive kind of animation style, you know, a la Peppa Pig, although I'm sure that's done for like easier production reasons, but puppet animation could look really, really good. Because there's a level of programming that you can incorporate into it to get really authentic kind of results.
Right, okay.
The same is true for After Effects, but again, you know, I just want to make sure I cover my bases. As far as you're concerned, it really is just a skill issue.
You said what you said. Vex lost that a business. Right, so you've been with Far Creative since 2021, is it?
Yeah.
And how has that been for you?
That has been excellent. A lot of my animation growth has come from doing that project. Like, I remember the first project that we did, which was the one that I'd been hired on initially. It took me like 3 weeks to build that rig. It was kind of ridiculous, and now I'm able to build the same rig in like 2 days.
Wow.
So it definitely is a learning curve, because again, like, especially when I was learning it didn't really have tutorials for Moho like that. There are a lot more people doing like really good introductory stuff now, but that is the trade-off of using a program that maybe is more specialized but doesn't have the same kind of support.
As much support, yeah, at least at the time.
Yeah.
And what are some of the things that you've done with Far Creative? Obviously, I'll have to board you for you to send me some links so I could see and maybe splice in some stuff. But what are some of the more memorable projects that you would have worked on, if you could talk about?
Yeah. Two that I'm really proud of that I can remember off the hand is we did a series of animations for the Ministry of Health for the Early Childhood Care Division, where we were doing, it's a kind of educational animation where a parent and a child are kind of learning. The parent is teaching the child kind of math and different educational things through an action that they're doing together. So we had one where a dad was cooking with his son and showing him different things he can count and different things to like interact with in that educational way. And then we had another one where a mom was hanging her clothes to dry with her daughter, and we actually got the goal Addy for both of those animations when they had sent those up. So that was really good. And then the most recent one we did was a animation for the Office of the President, basically explaining what are the roles of the president and how different things work for kids specifically. So we used a cast of why can't I remember it now? it is literally the most simple bird ever, and I can't remember it. But yeah, we use a cast of birds to do the animation, and those are, I think, some of the most complex rigs that I've been able to really develop. We had junior animators on at the time too, and it's just really exciting being able to develop something like that, and everybody is kind of locked in this project.
Now, you said the simple birds that you can remember, shame on you, were some of the most complex rigs. Like, what makes a rig complex for you?
For me, it's usually the head turn. So for a character that just has like a circular head, to turn the head to the side would really be to move the nose element and the eyes to the side and just do that.
Right.
But for not a parrot. I don't know why I can't remember it. I'm gonna get fired. But for those birds, they look completely different from the front than from the side. So the character was like this from the front with the nose, and he had a hat on.
Right.
And then from the side, you're seeing the whole profile of the bird. So it's kind of like
a toucan.
How do the toucan, it?
No. The big beak, big long beak.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why did I think it was something else? Anyway. But yeah, this.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
I just know I am recommending you any chance I get. So, for example, to change this nose shape to look to the side, and not just to morph the shape, but then to have the character be able to talk and turn. I had to develop the rig like 2 or 3 times before I was really able to get that right.
So it wouldn't be, excuse my hardly any knowledge of practical animation. It wouldn't be a thing where you basically switch the head for the turn. So you would be animating the front profile, and if the character turns, it would just switch the head on the body to sideways.
I had done that in the past with rigs, with human rigs that had like complex hair or faces. For example, I would have like a front view and a 3/4 view and a side view. Mm-hmm. Then what ended up happening was that I would have to create groups to manage that, to be like, okay, front head, side head, and 3/4. And then the mouth wouldn't always work with that either, because if the mouth is just kind of like moving to the side, just a linear, when I'm rigging the head to turn from the side to the front, if the mouth and the eyes are just moving with it's a lot more static. So I'm not able to do fluid animation that might be more characteristic of actual traditional animation.
Right.
And then that's how you get the kind of why cutout animation is seen as more amateurish.
Right, because it's less fluid, less quote-unquote natural, kind of more stop-motion-y looking to a point.
Yeah, which isn't bad, right? Like, again, if you think about the total drama art style and what they're able to do, the animation is extremely fluid, even though they don't have rigs that turn 360 degrees with every animation in between.
Right.
But I wanted to be able to have something closer to a traditional style, but doing it with puppet animation. And I'd really realized that was possible when I saw the animation for the Lion Guard. I did not realize it was done in 2 moves. I was like, it's you can do that? And even like Gumball, a lot of Gumball is puppet animation. So like they will animate maybe the heads and the mouths.
Yeah.
But the bodies on some of the characters, they just do it with rigs instead of redrawing that all the time.
Okay.
A lot of shows do that actually. They will do a mix of traditional and cutouts where, they don't have to have a wide amount of drawings to be used.
Right. Okay. Yeah. I guess that's if they're doing like a TV series where you would have, I guess, tighter time requirements and that kind of thing to bring out episodes. You need to work smarter, not harder, kind of thing.
Yeah, I would imagine so. I mean, I've never had as much insight to like the behind the scenes kind of thing as I would like, but from what the kind of like, sometimes you'll see those behind the scenes, especially when they have like guest animators on the show. For Gumball in particular, the animators would show up on my Instagram feed, like you see their kind of behind the scenes stuff.
Right. Okay. Now, when we started, you said you're going to be going back to Upwork and you're going to be doing. Is this a slow period for you?
Kind of. like I developed a fairly bad relationship with my art, having just kind of like working it into the ground all the time now. Like when you, at least when I left animation school, I wasn't as equipped for being an entrepreneur and being, you know, my own boss and being an artist as I would have liked to be.
Right.
And when you're unable to kind of balance doing art as, you know, creative practice or something that's meditative, something that relaxes you, and just turning it into something that is work that makes you money, it kind of just destroys your relationship to the art form. And it did for me for a while. Like, I don't think I drew much of anything between like 2022 and maybe 2024. Yeah, I just completely, because anytime I thought about drawing, I'm like, something I have to do for work. I hate work. I'm not making money. This and that. Blah, blah.
Right. That is unfortunate.
Yeah, but it is possible to like repair that relationship in a lot of ways. Like doing music as a hobby has helped me to repair that relationship with art. Just doing something that is like not for the money, and that's like there's no stakes.
Right. Because I was going to ask about the music. So you would be, let's see, in previous interviews, Nick is a musician or has musical abilities, has been trained in music, him and his brother. And Francois have a music background as well, could play pan and them kind of thing.
Cool.
So realizing that plenty visual artists that I know have a relationship with music or created music, which I didn't know. So I find that very interesting. So in terms of you and your musical journey, when did that start? Was that always there?
In a way, I would say. So my uncle, well, he's passed some time now. Yeah, I can't remember the year, but yeah, my uncle was Ken Hutchinson. He was pretty big in the music production scene. Okay. And I didn't necessarily learn from him specifically, but I was introduced to like that kind of musical equipment and what creating stuff looked like. Because my youngest sibling, they used to do calypso competition in primary school. So my dad was also like excited about that kind of stuff because he's a very creative person himself. Right. So he always wanted to pull out all these stops and stuff. So we went to my uncle. I think my mom wrote the lyrics and then like my dad would work on the melody and stuff like that. And they'd take it to my uncle and they would have like an actual recording and stuff. Okay. And my sibling always won calypso competition. Like they had to leave the school for other people to start winning. So what I am hearing you saying is your whole family advantages. That's what I hearing you saying now. I can neither confirm nor deny.
Okay. Very well.
But yeah, I started doing piano. It's kind of funny because I started music young, but I started doing piano. I barely made it past grade 1. I was so bored. Really? I remember I got, I'm like, why am I doing this?
Would have been?
I would have been like 7 or 8. Okay. Yeah. And like for contrast, around that time too, I was also like when I was 8, I had attended this Chris Riley had this comic writing kind of thing. I still have the documents from it because it's still good drawing and comic instruction. I had begged my mom to sign me up from that class. He was doing a class by Living Waters on Frederick Street. And I was locked in. As you may imagine, I was the only 8-year-old there. Right. When it came to music, the theory tripped me up completely. Like I got a guitar around that time too, and I couldn't make heads or tails of it. So I got frustrated and I stopped. So piano and guitar at 8. Yeah. And I couldn't hack it. I don't know what it was in particular. I just did not have interest. And then in St. Joseph Convent we did music. I did music up to Form 3. And pan in particular I really liked. I was playing tenor pan and I got really good at it. I still wasn't very good at theory. I would just like memorize the the song and then be like, okay, like I remember we had an exam thing, but we all had to play, I think it was Dame Lorraine, and the teacher was like, do you want the sheet music? I'm like, you want me to play it properly or not? But unfortunately, yeah, I wasn't able to do music and art because and I think this is a girls' school exclusive, somebody will have to correct me, but for Form 4 and 5, you're encouraged into groups of subjects. Yeah. It was never presented to me that I could do subjects outside. And people I knew who was going CIC and QRC anytime talking about they did art and music and basically any combination of subjects they wanted. I was like, well, damn, didn't know. So I ended up prioritizing art and I only picked back up music. I think initially during lockdown, right? Dax Carter was giving music lessons at the time, so I was like, okay, good as time as ever to like pick back up guitar, and that he gave really good instruction for that. And then I stopped it again for a while because the job was picking up and everything. And right. When I eventually got burnt out from the art and I wasn't able to really just tap into that anymore, I'm like, okay, might as well go back to music again. Like there's no stakes to the music. I'm not posting this for anybody.
Right. Yeah.
And ironically, because of that, I have been able to like develop in a way where I'm really happy with my progress and like the kind of music I'm able to make. It's very fun and relaxing for me.
That's great. That is great. So you are playing, I mean, all the videos that I've seen is with the guitar. Is that your current only outlet? I think you're singing as well, right?
Yeah. Well, when I warm up, I haven't been writing like music like that in a while, but I have like I have to repost them, but I have like written a couple like songs. What I do primarily is I play electric guitar. I do play bass. So the bass is kind of in a state. I play the cajon as well, which is like a box drum. Yeah, okay. The cajon, CAJON. It's kind of like a box drum where, this thing here. Click. It's a box drum. The drum you would see me sitting on in the Jumpy Jump session videos. Yeah. And when you hit like here, you're able to get a bass sound. And then when you hit here, you're able to get a snare sound. So you can make really cool kind of beats with it.
And these are also, you've invested in your music. So these are all instruments you own.
Yeah.
Okay.
I play pan as well still, but the tenor pan needs to tune. And I'm not entirely sure where to go.
But I can tell you, I know there's a guy, and that's only because I was doing some photography work for Trinidad All-Stars, because they have in their pan yard, they have a number of different businesses in the pan yard, and one of them is a pan tuner. So I've taken photos of him working on pans, not just the All-Stars pan, but I think he is a pan tuner for hire. So I could probably see if I could get his number for him.
That would be amazing, because I can't loop with the pan because like I'm hearing the inconsistencies with the guitar and I'm like, oh, this sounds bad.
Right. Yeah. I'll organize that. Okay, so I try to do some due diligence, not all, in macoin business beforehand so that I could have some questions to continue macoin business. What is Outlaw City?
Wait, throwback boy.
Yeah, boy.
So, just for the sake of being honest, Outlaw City is a ripoff of Flushed Away. First and foremost. So I saw Flushed Away, which is like, I think it's an Aardman film. It's not stop motion, but it's in that Aardman style, the Wallace and Gromit style.
Right. Yeah.
And that was the greatest movie I ever saw. I said it was the best. Like, I love a story about a little mouse. Like, an American Tail Fievel, that was my thing. Huh. So like, I basically made a rip-off character of that. And it eventually, I even wrote a story about it when I was like 12. I found out that book the other day. I'm frightened to reread it, to be honest with you. But I made and printed a whole book about that. I was so invested in the world. That comic is still up on Comic Fury. I don't know if I'll ever continue it. Primarily because like when you have those ideas from when you was like 11, 12, 13, like you have, one is not the greatest idea ever. You're not playing to a bad man. But two, even if you were to try and like rework it into an actual thing, there's just there's just so much there that I feel like it would be a disservice for me to try and like kind of resurrect that.
Yeah, plus you're
For
not
so
you're in a
long.
completely different mindset. So
Yeah.
you would have lost any train of thought that you would have initially had to wanting to tell the story. So yeah, the train would derail soon after.
Yeah, but I still do enjoy like drawing the characters, and it was fun at the time. That comic actually was done in Photoshop, and I'm not impressed with what I was able to do in there.
More Photoshop hits. Pitchforks will be out in abundance for you. All right. And what? So you talked about Upwork. What is Upwork?
So Upwork is one of those freelancing sites where you are able to. It's kind of, I don't know if this would be correct to say. It's kind of a cross between LinkedIn and then something like Fiverr. So you have your profile where you put your portfolio and you present your skills and different things like that. And then there is a client portal where people will post up jobs that they want done in certain fields according to like what you put up on your profile, and then you are able to kind of pitch a proposal to them. And they could take the job. You communicate through the app itself. It's on browser as well. And then once the app is done, they pay you into the account, and then you are able to withdraw it. In my case, to pay in it, because I don't think local financial options are not the best when you're trying to do international work.
Yeah. Okay, so you set up your profile, upload your portfolio, and you have access to a client portal where you can, you're searching for clients or the client searching for you? Who reaches out first?
It could be either one. So from what I remember, because I haven't used it in a while, the client can either reach out with you and be like, hey, I have this thing I need done. Can you check out this listing? So they may find you from a list, or you may find their job posting and then send a proposal to be like, hey, X, Y, and Z is my credentials. I can do this.
Okay. So that's how it is similar to LinkedIn in terms of you could see postings that they make and reach out to them. Okay. And how long have you been on that platform? How long have you been using?
I think I've been using Upwork since 2022. I'd gotten the odd job here and there. The primary thing was a kind of ongoing. I had a retainer as a graphic artist facilitated through Upwork. So it was really great for that, because like they had to pay me at the end of the month and mark the job as done,
Right.
So that income was a lot more sturdy.
Right. And this was an international client?
Yeah, it was regional.
Okay.
Yeah.
Huh. That's very cool. Might have to check that out, seeing as
I definitely would say to check it out. I'm thankful that I still have the same account, so like I have all of the past business, so it's not like a brand new account now, so it lends a kind of legitimacy.
Right, so people seeing that you're not fly by night, you've been around for a while, which is important. And they say you're going back to it now.
Yeah.
We're able to at least try and be a little more active on it.
Yeah, especially with animation now, since I have that proficiency in Moho. Animation is usually the jobs that I feel like people don't have access to doing animation otherwise. Even AI animation, it's just going to be like a guy slowly becoming surprised at you for 5 seconds. It's like, well, no, you're still an actual animator. I want to see if I could put my Moho skills to that.
That is cool. That is very cool. Let's see. Okay, so in begging you to come online with me in the gallery, I did ask if certain topics were a game and you are up for it. So let us talk about, because I don't think there's enough conversation about it, given I guess all of the stigma attached and just the kind of conservative way we still have here. As I hinted at before, you were a different person in the past. So you attended convent, girls convent.
Yes.
But you have since identified as someone else.
Yeah. So I would say, when did I realize I was drunk? In a way, again, during lockdown. To me, I think that's why they really had to end lockdown. It was like, too much oil, they're having too much time to think. Stop it.
Okay.
It's like, that was really at the time where we were starting to realize that the way this world works, all of the things that we take for granted as being like just a matter of nature, it's like, no, like everything that we are operating under is just the how we understand the rules to be that somebody else gave us. And the second that clicked, I was like, okay, then who am I actually? Because I'd really never been able to imagine myself at the age I'm at now. Not necessarily because of depression, but just because like I literally could not imagine who I would be at this age. And realizing that I'm trans, I'm like, okay, well that makes a lot of sense. And just recontextualizing, like it's not something you would ever think to ask, because there is just complete erasure, not just in this country, just generally. The information about anybody who is not straight or cisgender, the opposite of transgender, there's no information about that, so you just assume
it doesn't exist.
You assume, all girls feel like this, all girls feel like they're imposters and they try to put on a dress, like, all girls, all of these like very alarm bells in my head when I think about it. When I was a teenager, I literally changed my name to Daniel Blaize when I was 16, and still did not think once about the implications of that. I was like, I just like this name, no reason.
Right. So this is something that you were battling with from childhood, or it kind of slowly progressed until COVID, where you had to sit down with your thoughts, and that's when it reached the tipping point? Was it something that you were battling with all through your convent days or even before?
I don't think so, honestly. I, especially like when I was younger, was fine to just assume whoever like was an authority figure telling me how the world works. I was like, well, I guess that's how the world works.
Right.
I didn't like it, but I assumed that everybody didn't like it in the same way that I didn't like it.
Right.
I think back to just like little things like, when you're trying to recall a memory and then it don't come, and then at 3 o'clock in the morning, in the middle of the night, you're going to remember it. But they were just
so it is.
I am 31, do not call that on me.
Well, I can only talk for myself. My bad.
just a lot of things about like being so unhappy in my skin and feeling like I didn't have a personality, and my personality was that I draw things. Like, you could not ask me to write a bio when I was 15. I'm like, I draw things and I like pasta. Like that was literally my bio. Like, I could not tell you 3 things about myself.
Wow.
Yeah, it just a lot of, I don't know, like depersonalization, kind of dissociation. I don't remember a lot of most of my teenage years, really. Like I remember UTT and stuff like that, and like general landmarks and stuff like that, but just a lot of my growing up and everything was a blur. And it feels a lot clearer to look at that in retrospect and be like, that loss of identity, that lack of having an identity, and where some of that may have been coming from. Not understanding that I could exist in a different way. Now, granted, I was never good at being a girl.
What do you consider good?
As in, like, I was never able to do, granted, there are a million different ways to be a girl and a woman, but like, I was not good at any of them. Like, I had no sense of, I assumed everybody had an ambivalence toward the idea of being a woman, being like, oh, well, I guess I can't leave. It's like you go in a house and it's like there's no running water and there's no electricity and there's no Wi-Fi, and it's like, well, I guess this is my life now. And I literally assumed everybody felt like that. So I just went through life with this just kind of depersonalization, and I think it really showed through in like my relationships and friendships at the time, just always being kind of closed off and not really being close with people in the way that I have a lot more access to now.
Right, because you felt that they wouldn't understand you, or they didn't understand you, or because you didn't fully understand yourself.
Yeah.
Okay.
Everything felt kind of surreal. I'm like, okay, well, there's school, and then I draw, and then okay, that's it. And it's bizarre to kind of like think of how long I went on just assuming I didn't really have a personality, or that it was just depression, and everybody had depression and everybody didn't really have a personality, so it's fine.
Right.
Yeah, so it's one of those things where it's like, okay, well now I can see where I would be in, when I'm 40, because I'm looking like this now. Like that's a lot easier for me to see. Like that makes a lot more sense. And then it becomes something that, because like I started transitioning medically in 2023, and it becomes something that you don't even think about anymore. Like you're just existing. You get up in the morning, you look in the mirror, and I was like, yeah, that's what I'm supposed to look like, and you just kind of go along with your day. And it's kind of bizarre.
You no longer had questions as it related to identity.
At the risk of sounding like incredibly cheesy, it's like you look in the mirror and you're like, oh, okay, I can see myself now.
Right. That is so interesting and very cool. I'm glad you're at that point, when you could be comfortable with yourself, because there's, I think, I mean, I can't talk for everybody, but I know it is something the young adults, so the teenagers coming into their own and finally getting a personality outside of the group, whatever group of friends that they're in, because usually that's how this go, right? You kind of just adopt the personality of the group, and then as you get older, you figure out who you are, and you start to make changes, which can, well, I mean, some people never get to that point, thinking about it now, but that's when, you develop either the lifelong friendships, or people that were friends for years, they drift apart because they change, kind of way. So you being more confident in who you are, like you hinted at it before, but I guess it has changed your relationships and friendships and that kind of thing now, or since?
Yeah, I find myself to be like a much more open person, that I can connect more genuinely with my friends without feeling like a barrier has to be in place. I feel like just generally I have been able to do a lot more soul searching as a person and building character in that way. And the kind of friends I have around me now are, you have some friends and you're like, well, I have to be doing something right if they want to be around me, kind of vibes.
Yeah.
And just
would these be new friends? Are there people that are still around from before you found yourself that are still here?
Yeah. Like from the game development team from Barbados, I'm still friends with a lot of them.
Right.
And like a lot of friends that I had made when I was doing music stuff on and off when I was a teenager. And like some classmates from school I've reconnected with and that kind of thing. I've always been the kind of person to like line with every group.
Right.
So I kind of have friends from all over the place kind of vibe.
Right.
So I still like have a lot of those connections.
Okay. How has finding yourself, how has starting the actual transition, how have those things affected you as an artist, as a creator? Has it affected anything for you that you noticed?
I think it has. I think it's allowed me to like be a more authentic storyteller, because again, the same thing with like, figuring out, oh, I do have a personality, like learning about myself, learning to love myself and to love others. That's the kind of stuff that really makes art, not necessarily the skill, but I guess living your life and connecting with people and learning different stories and different things like that and different ways of being, that has kind of showed its place in my art and make me feel like I can afford to be more vulnerable in the kind of art that I made, which has just undoubtedly improved it, because there's a difference between like drawing something because you think it cool and drawing something because like you really like it.
Yeah.
At least I find you could tell the difference in that kind of art, which is why like art that is maybe not as like technically amazing from like when you're in secondary school, that kind of deviant art stuff, it's why it's so endearing to me, because it's like, this person cares so deeply about this.
And has there been not willingly trying to bring up potentially traumatic things, right? But we gotta be realistic. Has there been any negative things that have come up since you found yourself, whether personally or the people, some of the people around you, in terms of acceptance, that kind of thing?
Well, I would say at least for my social circle, hasn't been the case.
That has not been the case.
Yeah, that has not been the case. I think just because of like the kind of friends that I ended up making were people who would always be cool with that kind of thing, or who were queer and trans themselves in some way.
Right.
So it's kind of like the whole stand users are attracted to each other. Like stand users will always find each other. I've had that experience in terms of like a lot of my friends are either creatives, are queer and trans themselves, or both. So I just keep running into those kind of people anyway. So I've never really had that kind of issue socially.
Was it that you were running into them, or even without knowing it, you were subconsciously curating the people that would stick around? Feel like you were giving them your energy, even on a subconscious level, as opposed to those that you might get a inkling like this person would probably be an asshole to me if they found out who the real me was. So let me not waste energy or effort in any kind of meaningful friendship here.
I do think so, yeah. Ultimately, there must have been something that shone through that just kind of brings people together in that way. And I am very thankful for it. Like, I guess at the end of the day, you can't really help but be yourself.
Yeah. Well, there are some people that they've turned it into art, faking personalities to fit in or to get something from people. Those are the scary ones, because there's so much energy that you have to put towards being fake that can go, somewhere else and be more productive. Granted, for them that might be their productivity.
Yeah, it is really sad. Like I feel like I've experienced like engaging in that, and it's like this kind of autopilot where you assume, okay, this is how life is. I'm just like, life is just happening to me. I don't really have a say in this. It's just happening. And I can say from my experience, when you behave like that, it's very easy to hurt people, because life just happening to you, and whatever gonna happen, and you're not gonna put any effort into.
Yeah.
And when you do that, when you're on autopilot, whatever your default to often end up hurting people.
Yeah.
But outside of that, I would say it's really weird, because like our understanding of gender and what men and women should look like is really based on Europeans' understanding of gender and what men and women should look like, which was really meant only for them. Them wasn't meant to include we and all of that. We were supposed to be, on the plantation. Like, we wasn't supposed to be in this conversation at all.
Yeah.
And it is also reflected anyway, like, honestly, after a certain age, there really is no difference in gender presentation in Chinese. Like, if you just look at average people, like, people do not care if they present more masculinely or femininely generally, and our distinction, our baseline is a lot more fluid than what people would have you think. So all of that is to say, I usually do not encounter an issue. Now, I've had people stare at me, like, very openly just stare at me. This is not like, that has happened even before transitioning, because I'm a quirky individual apparently.
Apparently.
Yeah, but just kind of stare at you like an animal. And it is nerve-wracking in a way, but also not, because my experience has been that Trini will look and talk behind your back and watch you and do all of these things, but if you were to actually come up and say hi to them have nothing to say to you.
Yep.
So it's like, you go watch me hard in the street, but when I wave back to you, you vex. So it's like, I don't know. But outside of that, like, I either get read as a man, as I should, or as some kind of butch woman, which is not... I used to be more upset about it, but again, when you look at the average cross-section of Trinidadians, we do not have that male-female distinction in any way that Europeans would want you to have you to think. Like, we have a lot of like really feminine-looking men, really masculine-looking women, and I mean not just like presentation, but literally like secondary sex characteristics.
Right.
Literally people who look so a variety of different ways, and we accept them as they say they are. So in that way, I've never had that issue, because I feel like outside of the American propaganda, when people like remember that they're supposed to be engaging with the American propaganda, a lot of people don't actually care.
Yeah.
At least that has been my experience. Like that has to be, there's a heavy disclaimer on that a lot of that is because people only understand transgender to be male to female. A lot of people don't know that it goes the other way around either.
Right. Yeah.
So a lot of the time, they don't even know people like me exist. So there's erasure in that, but there's also a kind of level of protection as well. So there's like a number of things going on.
It's a complex subject for sure.
What I will say is people used to be a lot more normal about trans people before this whole bacchanal with what Trump trying to do. Like people have been and riled up in a way that they don't like. People think testosterone is steroids. Like when they ask me, they ask like if I'm on steroids. I'm like, why would I be? I would not be able to transition if my body wasn't already able to transition. The only reason HRT works is because I already produce testosterone. It's just telling my body to produce more.
Yeah, but I mean, the fact of the matter is we all produce levels of testosterone, men and women.
Yeah.
So, basic biology kind of thing.
Like it would literally be dangerous for men to not produce estrogen. Like certain organs in your body will not work properly.
Yeah, exactly. But tell her money.
I know some fellas want to beat you for that. Like what? And then a girl is like, I didn't say that.
Oh gosh. And it is becoming so much more apparent in the news now. Like in the fitness industry, the people that go on that take testosterone to like enhance performance and to build bigger muscles. Now people seeing and realizing that once you go on that, you cannot come off because your body will read the extra testosterone and say, oh yeah, we're producing enough, man, we don't need to do this anymore. And your body stops producing testosterone. So you always had to be with your syringe joking yourself for the rest of your life.
Initially, testosterone replacement therapy was made for cisgender men. But what cisgender men don't understand is that your body has to have a balance. So I can't just dump a whole set of testosterone into my body because my body can't think something wrong and convert all of it to estrogen. The same is true if you're bodybuilding and you're taking extra testosterone because you feel it will make extra muscles. It's like if you do that unbalanced, it's going to change all of it to estrogen. You are literally like undermining any progress you're trying to make in that regard.
You're going and turn yourself into more of a female.
If they want to see it like that, exactly. Like they're not becoming
be more manly.
and it is this. People have to make everything trans people do as if it's some kind of alien kind of thing in order to justify treating us badly. So they have to act like testosterone is steroids and you go and get heart conditions or some. One of the really big ones is that testosterone would like increase your cholesterol levels to dangerous levels. Like it increases your cholesterol levels to the standard that would be for a cisgender guy because that is how it works.
Right.
So I don't mind people like being ignorant. I don't even mind people like feeling scared or whatever it is. But like you don't understand what it is and you're vexed.
Yeah, well, you're vexed because it's stupid.
Yeah, and it's like why I had to pay for that?
Well, somebody had to pay. And I forget my wallet home, so
screaming.
I think Danny.
In a way too, it's like it tells people the existence of trans people proves that like all of this is what you want to make of it. And some people get really upset when they realize that like all of these things that they were adhering to at their own peril, like that was making them miserable. They didn't actually have to do that because look, this person is go ahead and saying no thank you, I want something else.
But to me also it could be a possibility where, again, like you were saying earlier with the status quo, right? We've been so accustomed to understanding that this is just how it is. We've been taught that since sliding out of the womb. This is just how it is. So don't question and just go on with your life. Don't think. Right, even with the system we have here for education is more to regurgitate than to actually question and be curious and find out the truth, right? So when you come along with your advantageous animation self, just winning everything and being able to play multiple instruments and draw and animate and shit, you have them questioning what they've been told and taught for however long, and you're kind of forcing them to think, and plenty plenty people don't like to think for themselves. They like to be told what to do and how to do it. So you come and you're fucking it up for everybody. So yeah, you had to be a target.
He was like, boy, who is you? And it's like, well, you can live your life too, you know, doggy.
Nah, you upset the balance there. You upset the balance there. That's very interesting. So I see that you had it's not technically a GoFundMe, but kind of a GoFundMe for a procedure. Talk more about that, man.
Yeah, so I started it's a site similar to GoFundMe. It's chuffed. Primarily because, like, again, payment options in the Caribbean are ridiculous.
Right.
So I started a fundraiser for top surgery, basically a double mastectomy. Because it can be done in Trinidad, but it's a lot of money. Which again, it's a funny thing because, like, people will turn around and be like, what rights you don't have? The right to not have to pay like $14,000 to transition. How about that? You know, so and that one in particular is our next $72,000, and that is with the discount. So I have been trying to I have been lucky enough to, like, really have support from Far Creative, from Renee in particular. Like, he helped me with, like, setting up everything, and man donate and all. Like, he's a real one.
He's a real one. Yeah. Renee's a real one from a long time.
Yeah. So I have that running. I have to advertise it a little more. It's a little, you know, we had this culture of don't ask for no help, it's better you're dead than ask for help kind of thing. Right. But I remember talking to a friend, and she was telling me, like, you know, you get to decide what is important to you, what matters to you, and this matters a whole lot to me. Like, it would also be one of those things where I wouldn't have to think about it constantly. Right. You know, it's quite literally constant. So that definitely is a big goal this year. It's already like 30% funded. Nice. So it's on Chuffed. It's chuffed.org/project/Daniel.
Okay.
And when I catch myself a little bit with this Upwork.
I'll definitely put the link in the end. Well, when this episode comes out.
Yeah, thank you. When I catch myself a little bit with this Upwork thing, I'll go advertise it some more.
Yeah, I think more people need to definitely know about it, and I think there's plenty of people that can and will support. They just had to know. So, you know, as you were saying, the cultures, don't ask for help if you can't do it for yourself. That's your business, but don't ever reach out. You know, that's bullshit. The village is there for the people that need help and that kind of thing. And yeah, I think there's a village that can and will support and help, because there's a lot of people in, well, I'm saying a lot, but more than people would think. Especially those that don't think about it at all. But there's you know, people in like you and in your kind of situation out there that could benefit from more people knowing about the struggle and knowing about what they go through, so that, you know, the acceptance thing could be broader now, and make people more comfortable, more open, more understanding. They had different people out there, and everybody had to be like you. And just because somebody is not like you doesn't mean that that's a bad thing. That's a great thing. But the fear-mongering, boy, it's frustrating.
And then that's why representation matters, right? The only people telling you representation that matters is the people getting represented all the time.
All the time, yeah. So it's and then they feel threatened. Like, it's invisible to you because you are represented everywhere you turn. So you just can't see it. But again, if I see myself this way and I want to see myself in this media or that media, however, why is that a threat to you? You do your thing. I over here doing my thing. Relax yourself.
Yeah, and like, media is so powerful, dog. Like, it's a film that resurrected the KKK. You know? Like, them wasn't pulling any kind of numbers until Birth of a Nation, and then everybody wanted to be in the KKK. They were like, oh my God, they're doing such great work.
Such great work, indeed. Okay. Sometimes in this place, yes. So personal project wise, in terms of art. What does the future hold for you? Because you said you had fallen out of love with it because it was just work, and that kind of thing. So the music was the way to address that in some kind of way. But is there a reality where Mr. Bobby's house produces something art-wise, whether it's animation, illustration, story, anything like that in the near or distant future?
Well, technically, I have done that already. So I did an animation like a year ago for Kaiso. They were doing something called Inclusive Futures, which was basically, what we're talking about with representation.
Okay.
Of different people, and I'd done an animation for them. It's on YouTube now. Called The Full Sum of My Parts, which is basically an acceptance story. Kind of using like a character building story using the metaphor of fruits and vegetables, and how the distinction we make from fruits and vegetables is almost as like, if not just as arbitrary as the actual distinction between male and female.
Okay.
And we produced it. Well, the Kaiso had this story initially, and it came to me, and I was able to rework the story, do the character designs, and I did that whole thing in Moho as well. I did the post-production in After Effects because, again, Moho's not made for that. Although some people would disagree, but I don't think Moho's really made for that.
You just hear burning bridges from the two sides. What's going on with you? Why you had to be over like that?
Equal opportunity, right? Well, you can't say. But you can't say I wasn't blazing nothing.
Wow, I see what you did there. Carry on.
Right? And that, I think that's some of the best work I've done in quite some time.
Really?
Yeah, so definitely you could check that out as well.
Yes, I'm really linked for that.
And then I supposed to be I've been signed with a literary agency for a couple of years now. This is with K. Alexi.
Yeah, Brendan and K.
Yeah.
Oh, and she must feel like drop off. You're holding off on me, man.
She must feel like drop off the face of the earth because I have not put any development towards that in quite some time. So I don't know if you've ever seen the other comic that I have online is Spirit Bound. I did a chapter of it, Spirit Bound.
This would have been since either during or right after UTT?
Around that time is when I first developed the idea, and then I'd rewritten it a couple of times.
Talking to you about it.
Yeah.
Or reaching out. I don't think it was in person. I'd reach out to you asking about the project. Yeah, because I was very impressed with your backgrounds and stuff. So I think I was asking you about that. But all of that to say, yes, I remember vaguely that project. Yeah.
Yeah, so basically I want to rework that project and actually try and get it, do a proposal for it and actually try and get some funding to make Spiritbound an actual story, if it's a 2-volume story or a 24 chapters, whatever it is. So I still have
there's a comic?
Same thing as a comic. And I've been encountering the same kind of things as I mentioned with Outlaw City. I started writing Spiritbound when, again, I must say 2014, even 2013 around. And like I say, I'm a different person in so many different ways. A lot of that writing was so, the kind of tropes that you ingest from television is just low-key some of the most bigoted shit ever.
Right.
And a lot of that was in my work, and not to put it down, but just that it does have to be reworked in a lot of major ways.
Yeah.
So once I finish, I have quite a lot of outstanding things to wrap up before that, but that is the major thing I want to do with that. And then the second major thing I'm looking at is I've been doing these live streams. You'll see them on Instagram, but I have them on Twitch as well, where basically all of these different instruments I have a looping machine.
Yes.
That lets me have 2 tracks and mix them and do all of these different things.
Yeah.
I call it Jumbie Jam sessions.
Right.
And I record that and put it up on YouTube, and I want to eventually kind of make a volume of that to release as a CD.
Okay.
Yeah, how people will have a kind of a genre of music and they have 20 songs on it and it's collection volume 1 kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I will do something like that.
That is very cool. Right, so let me go back to, you say you had signed with with Care, with the literary agent?
Yeah, I can never pronounce this properly. Azantian, Azantian. And she basically was like, you should.
What is that? That's her company?
That is the literary agency. Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the agency that Care signed me under.
So they publish books, comics, literary
books. Basically that kind of stuff. Like primarily it would seem like narrative-driven works. From a diverse range of authors.
Okay, and how did you come about being signed? Did you reach out to Care? What was that process to be signed?
I think Care had reached out to me. It would have been, I want to say 2023, but I've had this thing on hold so long it could have been earlier. Sorry, Care. And she was basically asking me, I think she had asked me like if I'd done anything with Spiritbound, if I was planning to do anything with Spiritbound, and basically suggesting that I had posted it I had it on Webtoon. Well, I still have it on Webtoon. I posted the first rework chapter in late 2020. I posted, I think, on Facebook and Webtoon and stuff like that, and that had garnered a lot of attention at the time. But again, I didn't know how to continue it. I kept writing myself into a corner.
Right. Okay, so you just put yourself out there and people reach out asking you about it. So you didn't actively seek her out. It was the opposite. She reached out.
Yeah, I hadn't even known. I'd been so out of the loop. I didn't know what's going on with people that I knew.
Which is one of the major reasons I even started this podcast, right? Because I realized, we know each other, and there's I'm assuming mutual respect. At least on my side, I respect the hell out of all of the people that I've invited into the gallery thus far, and who on the list to be invited. But life does be lifing, and sometimes you just don't know what your peers, your contemporaries, your friends, the people that you admire, you don't know what they're up to, because social media and thing not what it used to be. A lot of people not posting as much as they used to in the past and that kind of thing. So years or months could pass and you don't know what is going on with this person. So that was one of the goals for this podcast. Selfishly, I want to macro people business and see what's going on with them and find out what they're up to. So
it's honestly amazing. It's amazing what you're doing. Like this project is really excellent because it's a form of history recording too, because it feel like we hate to record our history. It's like history, cultural achievements, I hate. We won't even claim the steel band. People think the steel band from Jamaica.
Yeah, obviously we don't even own the patent to white man. So,
but when I see things like this, especially since like you probably have like a list that long going down the hill long, because we have one set of people here doing everything, but all of we doing thing in we own corner now.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like I said, it primarily it was very selfish. Like I just wanna mark up people's business. The people that I admire and look up to. I just wanna see what they're doing, what all they've been doing, how all they do, when it starts, all them kind of thing. And well, secondarily, and where more of the value in recording comes in, because I didn't need to record this and like turn it into something that could be posted, right? But having been a teacher for, this year would make it 18 years. God damn it, I am old.
Your seniority, man.
There's always been, for me, even as a student, there's always been value in talking to or finding out the information from people in the field and in who practice in the thing, right? And being a lecturer for that period of time, I see that I could tell the students something and somebody from outside come and say the same thing and they will listen to that person. But it take me for granted. Like I in front of the class, I supposed to be telling them that shit. But if a random person come and tell them the same thing, it might be more memorable.
It's unfortunate that the students are like that.
And I was like that too, right?
Yeah.
But also because there's such greater range of avenues and potential outlets for the group of youngsters coming up even now. There would be times where they have very specific questions that they're asking that I can't give them the answer I would want to give them, just because that's not my lane, that's not my specialty, I don't have enough experience there to give you a competent answer. So then I would find out, like with certain classes, the first session or two is always the same question. What is you want to be when you grow up?
Right.
You know, plenty of people laugh, right? But it's a legit question. So when I keep pressing them, they realize, oh no, so serious. Where you want to be when you... And based on what they tell me, I would go and seek out the people in my community, art community, design community, whatever it is, that either doing that or have knowledge, and I would bring them in or have any past, and the same kind of thing, me and them talking shit, and you know, going through the history, how they came about doing this thing, what are their experiences, that kind of thing. And the students, just any background, them is the one marking our conversation, right? But then afterwards, I would open it up if the students had any specific questions that they wanted to ask the professional, because I think there's more value in that kind of thing. So I say, well, let me record it, and I wholesale, I've said it before, I'll say it again, I wholesale copy the format of a YouTube channel called Creative Block.
Hey, don't recreate the wheel, huh?
Hey, if it working, hey. And I love the videos that they produce. I think they made an announcement that they stopped, so they're not going to be doing any more podcasts. They've been around for a number of years, and they started off 2 animators interviewing fellow animators in the industry. But then it kind of expanded to illustrators, comic book artists. There was even some musicians there related to animation projects and things. It was real cool. And I just love the format where them talking, but on the screen is them drawing, you know, or sketching or doodling or whatever it is. I like that. Real cool. That kind of takes the pressure off having to pretty up yourself to be on screen now, boy. Yeah. Even though these days, according to the algorithm, the personalities were winning out. People want to actually see the person that produced any content and thing, which is fine. But I think there's also value in this for the creatives, because there are plenty of times I would go on Twitch and just find somebody that drawing and talking, and I drawing alongside, you know what I mean? I'm not telling anybody how to consume content, but I think that there's value in what all you're doing, you know, in the work that all you're doing, and I truly believe more people need to know what the creative community is doing, is capable of, and to build and strengthen the community, because we don't communicate enough. We don't know about what each other doing, so that we could, you know, lend a hand, help out in some kind of way, whether it's to check up, like, hey, how this project going, you need help with anything, because sometimes we just slack off, right? And you need a certain level of accountability. And if I know, well, Danny, you had this book to finish so we could get it published, so you could sponsor my lunch and we could eat some curry. You're fucking up good times right now. Get to work on this book so that you could feed me curry now.
Yeah. And just having that connection with another person, like it's regulating, right? Like drawing like this is very common, and you're doing the kind of work and thing you wouldn't really be doing by yourself now.
Exactly. And I've felt it for myself. I remember there was right out to secondary school, and they are still my closest friends to this day. Name friends, they're family. I know these fellas 30 plus years, right? From the art class in Trinity. Nearly all of them is my child fathers, meaning their children are my godchildren, so let's call them my child fathers, right? I remember 2 occasions where we were just in the same place, and not everybody was being creative like drawing, right? But everybody was doing something, and it was a different kind of energy. Like, I felt so creative. I was just drawing and sketching for no reason. Like, I couldn't even remember why. Just that energy. And the funny thing is, well, the place was, it is convert to a mass camp every year. So we also were making costumes for children's bands and that kind of thing. And I remember one time when I felt that energy, energy, and I was sketching. Wendell and Roger from Tree Canal came to check he was our art teacher at the time, and the designer for the band, Patrick. I'm not even sure what they passed through, if they just come to visit or whatever. Roger walk in the door, and immediately he just look up, spin around in a circle. He's like, I really like the energy inside of here, boy. And at the time, I didn't understand the statement. Like, I felt it, right? I know what he was talking about, but then I didn't. I was like, that's a weird thing to say, but all right. But now, well, not now, but looking back, realizing how important that creative community is for increasing the creativity, and like I say, taking the pressure off and just creating for the sake of being creative and not because it's a job, even though it can translate to that, right? So it might be like, hey, I had this thing to do, and I catch my ass that I come in, let me bounce some ideas off for you, or tell me what you think. There's plenty value in that too.
Yeah, fully agree with that.
So all you need to I am so thankful for all that agreed to come in the gallery now and lime a little bit. Really appreciate that. Plus, I love all your work, all you do. Like, why all you so good, shit? Like, all you disgusted with this thing. Just all you give me mad.
Like, even listening to the episode, it's so like, I started listening to the episode, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna make my coffee and thing and a drawing, and it's just nice to have to hear voices like yours, like Trinidadian stuff like that, because like I like podcasts like those, but sometimes it's true more of just hearing American voices. I'll be honest with you.
Yeah. And we do have enough of this kind of thing, and I believe it has come down to bringing it back to maybe not a full circle, but maybe an ellipse representation. They do have enough of us doing this kind of thing, so plenty of people probably feel, well, if I'm not seeing it, that means it's not worth doing, or it's impossible, or anything like that. You know what I mean? So yeah, I think this is important. This is important. So I looking forward to the music. I really looking forward to the book, whatever form or story is being told. I think outside of the previous one, you have more than enough life experience now to tell a very interesting story if you choose to.
Yeah, definitely. I'm looking forward to like actually sitting along. I've been in tutorial-itis where you're watching a set of tutorials and like, oh, so this is how you do this, and then you never like actually apply it. But
right,
when I sit down, I go in the back of Tobago somewhere and just sit down for 3 weeks with no internet and just lock in.
That what we're saying, man. I wanna see what the end result looks like for sure. For sure, I wanna see what that looks like. All right. Well, I think that's all of the questions that I have for you this rounds. Notice I'm saying this rounds because I have plans for thing in the near future now.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah. I have some fun shenanigans that I am planning with a bunch of the guests that have been in the gallery. We're gonna have some fun in the near future. So just
battle rap.
Hey, possibly, since we have a bunch of overachievers in this group, it's going to be very interesting for sure. But as I said, thank you, Danny, for agreeing to come in the gallery. Thank you for being open, about your journey, artistic and otherwise. I very much appreciate you, the work that you're doing, and how open you are to talking about the difficult things. And I think that is important for all of us. You know what I mean?
Thank you. Thank you for having me. This is excellent what you're doing here, and I can't wait to see like how everything develops.
I appreciate it. Me too. I have no clue. We go see.
Also, I want some stickers from you though.
A hard thing day. You could get stickers.
Very good.
You could get stickers. All right. Well, that is the end of this episode. Until the next time. Later.
Yeah.